Allow me to preface this review by saying I want you to go see The Shallows, because on top of being pretty good, it's not a remake or part of a franchise, and it has a pretty low budget. The budget thing may not seem like a very big deal, but it means the studio won't interfere much, and I've always held that studios shouldn't overspend so much in all their films. So go see it because it's more worth your money than anything else in theatres. Feel free to watch on, there won't be any spoilers, but if all you want to know is whether or not I recommend the film, then the answer is yeah, it's a good time at the movies. Right, on with the actual review. The Shallows really is the kind of movie we deserve to be getting all the time. I'm not saying that every movie should be about sharks. Wait a second, I am totally saying that every movie should be about sharks. Think about it. Citizen Kane and The Godfather are okay, sure, but imagine they both ended with everybody being eaten by sharks. I know, right? Genius! Anyway, what I actually meant is that I want to see more movies made with the same principles of The Shallows. It's a small budget film with a small scale and a small running time. While it's not exactly going to end up in any history books, keeping everything streamlined does mean that director Juanmi Colesera and writer Anthony Jasvinsky can focus on crafting tension. They achieve said tension through stretching a rubber band. I mean, thrilling situations, interesting locations, and likeable character. Can we get a different picture of Blake Lively on the screen when I'm talking about how likeable she is? No, I'm not saying I don't think Blake Lively looks great in a bikini. I'm just saying I'd prefer not to imply that I only liked her because she looks good when she's actually, you know, a genuinely interesting character who I related to and felt would be fun to hang around with. So, you know, can we get a more modest picture of Blake Lively so that I look a tad less pervy? Thank you. To be honest though, there aren't really many modest shots of Blake Lively. To be fair, I don't really have any right to complain, but I do feel obliged to point out how the camera tends to look at our main character because someone in a better position to see if it's a problem might want to know about it. Similar to Blake Lively's bikini though, the best word to describe The Shallows is tight. Essentially, that's a word us stuck-up movie critics used to say that a film has very little dead weight and focuses well on its strengths. For example, while the relatively tiny budget does mean the special effects aren't great, there's very little emphasis on them, but rather a lot of focus on our main character overcoming her struggles. It's simple yet effective with no unnecessary subplots or over-the-top action. Sure, there's a few moments that make you scratch your head, and we'll get to them, don't worry, but for the most part, the film moves along briskly. On top of that, any dumb moment or questionable piece of editing tends to be followed by an intense and gripping scene. Most of those scenes revolve around the shark, which apart from the main character is the most important component of the whole endeavour. That is one of the reasons I love sharks though. I hope no one ever quotes me on that. But a shark doesn't need backstory or character or motivation. Just look at the damn things. All you need to know is that that thing with this face is coming for a person and you immediately feel scared for them. The Shallows doesn't do anything particularly spectacular to make the shark especially intimidating. There's no fantastic score, only one or two interesting visual tricks, and there are a few times when you can see the dodgy CGI, on top of the fact that a couple of directing tricks are used pretty poorly. Like, there's only so many times that I'm affected by someone disappearing behind a wave and not being seen again. Still, as far as my non-shark psychologist mind goes, the shark acts like a pretty real shark. There's a dead whale that keeps it around because it can feed for ages on it, and because our main character has a bad cut, the shark constantly goes for her when she gets in the water. Big thumbs up, solid setup, great job guys. Doesn't stop the seagull being real stupid sometimes, but credit where it's due, and your credit is due in the bank because I gave you money for your film. Yay for capitalism! The Shallows does suffer from a similar problem to Gravity, in that it has a shoehorned character arc that doesn't really have anything to do with the plot, there's no growth, no real development, and you can tell it's going to be reincorporated as soon as they bring it up. But still, the film is good. It's actually so simple that I've pretty much covered everything I can already. It looks beautiful. No, I mean the location looks great. Stop trying to make me look like a creep. As I was saying, it's impeccably shot, really well acted by Blake Lively, who has to carry the whole film on her shoulders, and it successfully creates a tense and exciting hour and a half that really is worth checking out. More worth checking out than any of this crap anyway, that's for sure. So yeah, go see The Shallows, and enjoy your life.